Good boy, Logan. That's a good boy. How you doing, bud? Good job. Lay down. Nice job. I had a client ask me once when the best time was to train your dog. The number one thing you want to do when working with your dog is have the dog engaged with you. That's one of the most important things during the training process, is making sure the dog is focused upon you. So try to find a time during the day when the dog is wanting attention from you. For example, many times a dog will come up to you and put its head underneath your hand as if to say, pet me, pet me, pet me. Well, I normally don't like this behavior because this is a dominant act. Normally it's the alpha that solicits attention, or the more dominant dog is going to solicit attention. So I normally don't like that. However, I know one thing. At this moment, the dog is engaged with me. It wants attention from me. So I take it a step further, and number one, I'll ignore the dog for about 5-10 seconds because the dog's attention span is only 3 seconds. And once I already know the dog wants to engage with me, I make him work for the attention. So after I've ignored the dog for maybe 10-15 seconds, I'll stand up. If the dog is in the learning phase, or phase 1 of its training, therefore learning new behavior, I'll have my treats with me in my pocket, or preferably food that's taken from his daily rations, and use this time for marker training. The dog is already engaged with me. The dog wants attention. Great, perfect. Make the dog work for it. The second best time to do your training with your dog is right before it eats. You already have hopefully instilled upon your dog the necessity to sit before it eats, so I suggest taking it a step further. Take about 10 minutes before feeding time. This is a perfect time because this is when the dog is more food motivated, therefore being more apt to want to work for the food or work for the praise. And take that 10 minutes to go through some obedience drills. Make it sit, make it lay down, right? Make it do the front, or whatever it is that you're working on at that time, or within that training structure. So once again, if a dog solicits you for attention, I normally don't like that behavior because that's a dominant act, but I know one thing. The dog is engaged with me, and that is the key time to do your training, is when the dog is focused on you. Another way to check to see if your dog is focused on you is to watch the ears. When the ears are forward towards you, it's paying attention to you. So that's the one time. And the final time to do it, and the other best time to do it, is maybe 10 minutes right before feeding time. Simply take a portion of the food and use this for its marker training during the learning phase, or if you don't choose to use food, which is what I prefer to do later on as the dog matures and already knows what it's supposed to do and has gone through the correction phase and the proofing stage and is in the maintenance stage. Within the maintenance stages is when I normally will do that type of training without food, is still right before feeding time because it wants to work for something as it's been conditioned to do so from its puppyhood and from earlier on. So keep that in mind as the best times to do the training with your dogs.